So for a whole
Yeah,
24 hours, I was shaking in my boots.
Crying.
Yeah, I was crying. Like, I was having a panic attack. And I know some of y'all watching this video would do the same thing. So don't look at me crazy. Hey honeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be discussing the anniversary of our first year in a home. So yes, we bought this home back in March of 2021. And so it's been a full year since owning a home. So we're going to talk about all the things that we've learned from owning a home post 1 year. And I asked on my Instagram if anybody had any questions. And I do have some questions from social media that I will answer here today. So let's get started.
How did you know you were mentally, emotionally, financially ready? Okay, I'm gonna go first. I thought Brooke was crazy when she was saying, oh, let's just get a house. Let's do that because rent is going up. And I was like, can we afford a house? But not knowing that your mortgage is going to be a lot cheaper than rent these days. So I was a little like, okay, I guess so.
Mentally, I guess I was just in a space where, I don't know, I'm always thinking about, you know, what's going to make sense down the line, what's going to make sense long term. So I had already created a thought process of, okay, I'm going to buy a house, regardless of if I'm going to stay in the city, regardless of what I'm going to do in the future, because things could change. I still want to buy a house, and maybe one day it can turn into an investment property and bring me profit that way. Or I can live in it, and while I'm living in it, I'm definitely saving money along the way, because our rent had shot up from $1,300 to $1,800. Yeah, so we had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and I can say that my mortgage is cheaper than $1,300. So that was what I was originally paying for my rent. So there's no way that I would ever, you know, go for $1,800 for rent in the area that I live in. Even though I do miss components of the apartment, I'm happy that I did purchase my house when I did. Emotionally, I don't know, I feel like I'm an adult. I've been an adult for a while. I'm 26 now.
No, you're not.
I'm 25, turning 26 this year. Sorry, I keep thinking I'm 26. But yeah, I guess I've been working an office job for 2 going on 3 years now.
I'm stuck on the 26.
That's
because I always say I'm older than her, and I'm not, so she always try to one-up me.
No, I'm almost 26, guys. I'm like 6 months away from being 26.
Only 6 months.
Anyways, okay. Yeah, I have a full-time job, so I knew that I was ready. I've been doing that steady, and so it's just like, let's do more grown-up things. And so I was like, not that having an apartment isn't grown-up, but having a house is kind of like a milestone, and I just felt like I was ready for that milestone.
Yeah.
And then financially, again, full-time job plays a huge role in this. You know, having steady income, looking at what you make monthly and what you can actually afford will be helpful. Looking at how much you have saved up will be helpful, and just you know, managing your finances well, then you'll know when you'll be ready, right?
Yeah. So having a predictable income is, I think, helpful to know.
Yeah, if every paycheck you get, you can't save any money at all, then you probably shouldn't be looking to buy a house. But if you're able to save on a consistent basis, that means you have wiggle room. And that means you can invest some of your savings into the home purchase. So let's move on to the next question.
What's the minimum credit score?
Okay, so when you're buying a house, it's more than just your credit score. They look at your debt to income ratio. They look at your salary. They look at all these different components. So when you say what's the minimum credit score, it kind of depends on the other factors as well. So if you have a huge debt to income ratio and like a great credit score, you could still get denied for a loan for a house. Yeah. You know, so it's just kind of like a push and pull type of thing. You really need to sit down and talk to a professional, not me, an actual lender, and it's free to talk to a lender. So talk to them and get approved, and they can let you know what credit score you need and how much you'll be able to get approved for.
What was the scary part that wasn't so scary after all?
Okay, you want to start or you want me to?
I'm gonna say your answer.
You're gonna steal my answer?
Yeah. So put in the offer before we even came to see the house. You know, it was like blind. You're like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it and hope for the best. And we got here, we're like, oh my gosh, like, I'm glad we did. Were we the only ones, really?
I think we were one of the first. I think there was like 2 offers that came in, and it was us and another person.
Yeah.
But
I think they were just ready to give it up, and they're like, all right, here go the first one, so let's just do it.
not only were we the first offer, but we did go 10,000 over asking price, so that helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
But like she said, we did put in our offer before ever seeing the house, like the physical structure, anything like that. We saw photos, which were in the process of being staged. It was like 25% stage, and then the rest was just like a blank canvas, because my real estate agent really pushed for us to see the house ASAP as far as the photos. Anyways, our real estate agent recommended that we put our offer in before we see the house, just so that there wouldn't be a bunch of offers on the table at once. So that's what we did, and that was scary at first, just not knowing if we were actually going to love the house, not feeling the connection to the house originally, because we weren't able to see it first. But then a few weeks after our offer got accepted, we were able to actually come in and tour it. I think actually the next day after our offer got accepted, so
Yeah.
that worked out perfectly. Okay, let's talk about house maintenance, because this is another question that came from social media. Maintenance can involve a lot of different things, but when you are, buying your house, they recommend that you get homeowners insurance. I 100% recommend this as well, because there are going to be things in the first year of your house ownership that you're going to notice that needs updating, or that needs work, or something's not functioning properly. Now, I'm not talking about updates like cosmetic. I'm talking about if stuff go wrong and it's not functioning.
Yeah, like our dryer, one day it just stopped, and I don't think there was anything like crazy wrong with it. I think it was just the part was old and just needed to be switched out, but we didn't know, and I didn't know what to do to it. So
yeah, and when you have insurance like that, you can pay a monthly fee for it, and then when it's time for them to come out to your house, you pay like $70-80, just depending on what your policy is, and then they come fix the issue no matter the cost. They get all the parts for you, they send out an actual professional to come fix it, and then boom, it's done. Like it just saves you so much like hassle. And if this dryer costs $1,000 to fix, you would have to scramble to get that money if you didn't have it already saved.
yeah.
So we also had to get our toilet fixed in the guest bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
So that was annoying too. So
It
there's
was just loud.
those. I think those are the 2 things that we had to get fixed, and it would have cost us more money than the home insurance policy. So
I almost called about the fridge. I changed out the filter for the water, but then my mom and my stepdad came, and he just happened to just twist it real hard, and I didn't want to, because I didn't want to break nothing. So luckily we didn't have to get that fixed, because I was going to call somebody for it, because YouTube was not helpful and I was impatient. So.
And I got a rock in the garbage disposal, which we probably would have had to call for that. But luckily, I don't know what happened to the rock. It's not there anymore, so amen.
Yeah.
But homeowners insurance is going to be super helpful. Oh yeah, so if you don't have homeowners insurance, or you feel like that's something you don't need, let's say you're going into new construction or something and you have a warranty and whatnot, you still want to create something called an emergency home fund, where you can put a certain amount of money every month aside. For us, it would be $50 each. We put that into a separate account, and that way whenever we do have issues with our home that are out of the budget, we can pull from that fund and
What did you say, 50
cover it.
what?
$50 each.
Every 2 weeks, though.
Oh, every 2 weeks. I don't know. We've been doing a terrible job at actually putting the funds in there, but
yeah,
it's just know it's there.
be consistent, because if you forget one day, you're gonna forget the next time, and that money is gonna be spent or in your normal savings, and you're not gonna take that out, because I don't like taking out my normal savings.
One day we were home and Destiny heard something rustling in the kitchen, and I was just like, oh, it's probably the fridge or like the laundry. You know how stuff is always making noise, right, in the house?
No, it was like somebody was in there rattling some bag of chips, and I was like, who's that?
So what we did is we crept to the kitchen, because our bedroom's right off from the kitchen, and we just sat there real quietly to see if we hear the noise again. And we did. And I got really scared, because like she said, she thought it was a person. I was like, oh my gosh, if this is a person, like, I'm gonna freak out. I don't know how to fight, so I'm gonna freak out. But anyways, I kept looking in the kitchen, just staring, because I'm determined to find out what this noise is coming from. So all of a sudden I see something scurry across the floor, and I freak out. I run back to my room. I start boarding up the wall, the door, or whatever, because I'm freaking out. I don't like anything that crawls, anything. I'm scared. I'm terrified.
Yeah, she always called me, and this time I was like,
So guess what? This happened on a Sunday, and there was literally no one to call, no one to help me. I mean, I did get pest control on the phone, and they didn't have anything until Monday because a lot of their employees are off on Sundays. So
Yeah.
that sucked. So for a whole
Yeah,
24 hours, I was shaking in my boots.
Crying.
Yeah, I was crying. Like, I was having a panic attack. And I know some of y'all watching this video would do the same thing. So don't look at me crazy. But anyways, long story short, this whole time I was thinking it was a mouse. But some guy came, put out traps. The traps caught it. The next day I told him to come back and get the actual rodent. And it turned out to be a vole. Yeah. Which looks like a mouse, like but it's actually a mole that is vegetarian. So vole with a V.
I don't know why he was in the chips though.
In the chips?
Yeah. He was driving around in the chips under the...
I think he was trying to like escape. I don't know how he got in because every time we done an inspection, every time we did an inspection, they would check the basement. They would check, or not the basement, they would check the attic. They would check the entry points, and they said we don't have any entry points.
I think there is one in the kitchen. Like, I feel like a breeze somewhere, like on the floor. But the guy said he don't see nothing. And I feel like there's this little small...
Anyway, she's saying she thinks that there's another entry point, and I don't want to have to think that because I cannot live life. I will sell my home.
She stayed in the room all day when I went into work.
I would literally starve myself to
and I had to leave snacks in the room and water and everything because she was too afraid to come out. And I thought she was nuts. Okay, anyways,
traps are still out and it hasn't caught anything else, so fingers crossed we never see anything else again. But they are doing a lot of construction around the neighborhood, which they say when you cut down trees and you destroy animal habitat, it can cause the animals to come out more often and then be in the home. And that was in winter and it was really cold and they were looking for somewhere to chill, but y'all can't chill here no more. And if you do, you got to pay the whole mortgage, period.
Okay, another thing for house maintenance is lawn. So right now we have a guy coming every 2 weeks to cut the grass. He does a great job cutting it. I don't want to keep paying him. We thought we were going to buy a lawnmower and the prices are freaking ridiculous. We don't want one with gas. We want one with a battery. So
okay, this is not a lawn video. This is about the lawn maintenance for the house.
Okay, sorry.
Not about the
anyways, the guy comes. He edged it up. He cut the grass. Cut the what they call shrubs, whatever. I caught myself trying to do some stuff out there, and I'm probably not going to. I thought I was going to be able to cut the grass, but we have a hill, and I tried to put out some lime for the pH for the in the spreader, and I was slipping down the hill, so I'm definitely not cutting the grass. So I think I'm gonna have to keep paying him. Moral
of the story is that lawn care is a lot of work, and it can be pricey depending on what you want done to your lawn. Luckily, our guy is not too crazy expensive, but it adds up because it's another monthly bill to your bills.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about some unexpected fees that you might run into when you're in your house. Like if you don't realize what this is, talk to your lender, of course, talk to a professional, but this is one of the things that I noticed, which was PMI insurance, and that is private mortgage insurance. It happens usually when you're not able to put 20% down or you don't want to put 20% down. Okay, so another thing I want to talk about is the mortgage changing. Now, when I got my mortgage from the lender, I thought that would be the price forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, unless I like refinanced or something like that. I never knew that the price could fluctuate going up and down or anything like that. So for this whole entire year, it was steady. It was the same price, but then I got a letter in the mail saying that my house had an escrow shortage, and this usually happens when property tax in the area increases or if there was a miscalculation when you first got the mortgage.
One other thing, invest in a security system.
Oh, that is something we were supposed to talk about. Right now we have a doorbell cam so we can see every time somebody comes up to the door. Yeah. But something I want to point out is your doorbell cam won't always catch everything. So if you could install other cameras around your home, like, you know, so you can get the view of the garage and the driveway, and you can get a view of the back, like that would be ideal, just so you can make sure that nothing crazy happens. And I think that pretty much wraps this video up. So we thank you for watching, and if you have any more questions, we can always do another part to this video. And you can watch my previous videos. I think there's 2 other videos on my channels about owning a house and the whole process that I endured. So check it out and let me know what you think. Bye, honey. See you next time.
What do you have a comment? No, I didn't say anything. I didn't say nothing.